Welcome to today's TLC. Whether you found this podcast on my website, through the emails I send, or simply from a friend, I'm glad that you've decided to add some TLC today. Hey friends, I can't sleep. It is 12:26 a.m. right now, and I can't stop thinking about what I want to say to you. Because I went to a girls' night where a friend of mine who is really into self-care invited a bunch of us to get together and share some of the things that she's passionate about. And we shared some of the things we're passionate about. And as I was talking about my podcast and about what I want to give the world and what I want to share, I couldn't help but think that I want to scrap my podcast and redo everything from the ground up because I just want to be giving you women out there something that I'm not quite sure I'm giving you yet. So I'm trying something new because I can't sleep because I can't stop thinking about how I can better help you in what you're trying to create in your life. I have, up to this point, done a lot of topic discussions about different mental health issues that a lot of people struggle with. And although that is helpful, I want to get real with some real life experiences right now. I want to talk to you just like we're having a conversation for a couple of reasons. One, because it's summertime and I have 4 boys at home and it takes me hours of production editing to go through the podcasts to create them the way that I've been doing them. And it's really not sustainable for the summer. So we're going to try to do a little bit more of off the cuff podcasts instead of buttoned up, super clean edited versions. So you're going to just get me pushing record and figuring it out as I go along, and we're not going to cut out a bunch of stuff. So I apologize if we get a little wordy, but here's the thing that I wanted to just share as I'm sitting here with my brain going all over the place, trying to figure out what I really, really want to give you each week as I get on here, that I feel like there is this stigma with life after therapy where we're trying to just figure it all out and we just don't have it figured out. Let's just be honest about that. We don't have all of the things figured out. None of us do. And we're all just gathering resources and trying out different things and figuring out what's going to stick. So as you're going through your journey with your life that you're trying to create, you've been through some trauma, some darkness that has brought you to a place of healing, and now we're just trying to figure out what's next. And that is ups and downs of mental health topics like what I've been talking about here on the podcast. That is trial and error in your own life of where to give yourself compassion and where to have a little bit more commitment to work through things. That is figuring out what you feel guided to do versus what you feel the world is telling you to do. And it's messy, my friends. It is a journey of real human life. Sometimes I feel like when I'm sharing the different topics that I talk about on this podcast, I talk about them like I know what's going on or like I've figured out the way. And that's not in any way that I have figured it out or I know what's simple or I know how to navigate your next phase for you or try this thing and it's going to fix it all, because it's really not. That's really not the truth of what the journey looks like. It's messier than that. And here's how I get to practice what I'm preaching is I get to have a messy podcast and I get to tell you that this is an evolving process for me. I've never done a podcast before. I've never figured out what message I really, really want to share with you. I have been in the trenches with you, my friends. I have dug through different beliefs that you have and struggles that you're having on a day-to-day. And that is where I love to help you learn and grow and create. But trying to figure out how to put that on a podcast so that it helps you every time you hop on here has been a new experience for me. So I hope that you have been finding useful things from the episodes that I've done up to this point. And I'm going to leave them there because at this phase, that feels like the right thing to do is just tell you that we're going to shake some things up. I also just want to honor that you have been showing up for whatever part you have up to this point, whether you're reading the emails that I'm sending or you've done 1 or 2 podcasts or you've followed through all of them up to this point. I just want to honor you for showing up. I think that we make it a big deal of whether or not we are showing up for ourselves every day and doing the things that we feel are healthy, but you are trying. My friend, you're trying. And we're all just trying. Honor that today. This is what I want you to have on your podcast episode today, that you just take a moment and honor you. Honor where you've been, what you have accomplished. So many times when we talk about self-care, there's this should about what it needs to look like. But what did you do today that you can just honor? That you are seeing yourself in your journey and seeing what you need and where you're failing and just trying to take one step at a time. There's a sentence that in the recovery circles that people would say all the time is, I just going to take another 24. And you're taking 24 hours at a time sometimes, and that's okay. Especially in the summertime, sometimes with our kids home, it gets messy and we just are taking 24 hours. Today, I did something that I really didn't want to do. My kiddos wanted to go to a beach. We have a man-made lake near our home, and there's a little beachfront on one side, and there were a bunch of people from our church going to hang out there today. And they wanted to start at like 11, and I, in my brain, thought, I really, really just want to feed my boys lunch and then go to have a quiet time and have a restful afternoon and let it be kind of simple. But my boys really wanted to go to the beach today. And so I decided that I was going to go. I will do this hard thing that doesn't seem that hard, but it was 104 degrees outside today. And you know how it is when you've got to pack up all of the towels and all of the toys and all the life jackets and the snacks and get there and sunscreen. And it's just a lot of steps, right? And I felt pretty wiped out afterwards. But I had that moment where I just honored myself, where I said, you did it. You showed up today and you did something you didn't want to. And that was beautiful. And that's all it takes sometimes. That's what really emotional and mental health is honoring your journey and just that one little thing you're going to do that's different today. One of the things about the podcast so far as I'm sitting here trying to sleep and failing, I keep thinking the last thing I want to do is give you a to-do list. And sometimes I feel like the TLC's takeaways or today's TLC or whatever it is that I've decided to name it and have not been consistent about it. And I've noticed, so if you've noticed, I've also noticed. But one of the things that I don't want that to be is you to listen to these podcasts and feel like, okay, I have to do this other thing to be in mental and emotional health. Here's another thing that I need to put on my list and be doing all the time to feel like I'm doing it right. And I don't want it to slip into that. So I just want you to take whatever you want from this podcast today. And if that's taking a moment to honor yourself for what you've done today, that's a beautiful thing. And I'm hoping that you find value from exploring what is working for you and what's not working for you. And tonight, as I'm trying to sleep, I'm exploring what's working for me and what's not working for me in my podcast. And I would love to hear from you about your journeys. I want to know, what are you struggling with right now? One of the things I've been thinking about is I'd love to just do some interviews with people who are trying to navigate the everyday life of Life After Therapy and just talk about what you're struggling with and what you are wanting help with and where you feel like you're succeeding, and share that wisdom with other people. So if you have any interest in coming on my podcast and sharing some of that journey and making this a little bit more conversational, I would love to have you come and join me on today's TLC. So send me an email. My email is stephanie@thelightcoach.com. And if you want to chat or even just topics you want me to talk about, I would love to know what your journey looks like, because I'm really passionate about being in the trenches with you, helping you on your journey, not telling you what to do or finding the best approach to things and saying that it's going to fix all your problems, because honestly, I have no idea. But I have some ideas of what has worked for me, and I have some tools to help you see different options for you. And that's all it needs. All it needs is that mirror that you can learn to look at yourself in the mirror and love yourself where you're at and see where you want to grow, because you deserve to live a life aware, a life where you have the space to become. Because really, isn't that why we're here anyway? To learn and grow and have joy along the way. You are capable of amazing things, and I believe in you and I want to help you. So shoot me an email if you want to know certain things, or if you want to hop on my show, and let me know what's been working for you and what's not been working for you. Or just keep listening to these podcasts and I'll figure it out eventually, because, I'm in the process just like you. I'm figuring out the day-to-day just like you. You're not alone in this journey, and I appreciate you letting me, even for one episode, influence it one moment at a time. Thanks for coming to today's TLC in the middle of the night, because my brain can't sleep. Just needed to connect with my people. You're doing awesome. Keep shining your light, my friend. Life after therapy can be simple. Come learn how to think light, feel light, and live light at thelightcoach.com. I offer 5 free discovery sessions each week, and one of them is for you. Together, let's discover the joy that's possible in life after therapy.